Hello, this is Lilian from Shanghai Meiji. Nice to meet you. My job in Shanghai Meiji is mainly conducting interview with foreign teachers, sharing culture part about China, and also giving assistance for the visa part. Today it's my pleasure to invite Harry to come to Shanghai Meiji again. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, no, it's not easy to get the work visa in China, so I just could you just share your experience when you get the visa?
Sure. So the visa process in China can be a little bit intimidating. China is a political country, and of course with that comes a very complicated visa process. However, Shanghai Meiji and Lilian helped me in giving me a set of very clear instructions, and they helped me prepare the appropriate materials and get things ready for when I came across in order to start that process and get it done very quickly. Some advice for your part is to make sure that you read what Shanghai Meiji and Lilian send you very carefully and make sure that everything is appropriately completed. So if you need things covered by a lawyer or if you need to get an appropriate certification, then you need to obviously follow that through. But if you prepare everything, it will be easy.
So the next question, how was your induction about your placement school?
So during my first week here, I underwent induction at Shanghai Meiji about the schools that I was looking at being placed. I was given different school options, and each one was thoroughly researched and checked. Every single one had an academic timetable presented. I understood about what their teaching methods were, where they were located, and their operating hours. The induction process allowed me to settle my worries, as it were. Everyone has the jitters as a teacher coming across here for the first time and having to give demos in this strange new place. But being here, being comfortable, being able to prepare allows you not to worry. It allows you to go to these interviews and go to these demo classes and be the professional and the best teacher that you can be so that you can get that job.
Perfect, thank you. Next question, I think most foreign teachers, they just care about it. Okay, so what are the culture difference here in Shanghai and how did you overcome it?
Sure, okay. So there are cultural differences that are to do with living here, and there are cultural differences in the world of work. So let's take them one by one. Firstly, there is the language barrier, of course. If you're in a major populous city, it's easy to find other people who can speak English and other people who can obviously speak native languages of your own. However, if you're more rural and in the countryside, then it's a bit more difficult. To prepare you for that, obviously you can get yourself a Chinese handbook, get yourself a Mandarin handbook, try to research in your time about taking Mandarin classes. I started taking Mandarin classes after Shanghai Meiji linked me up with a teacher, and I've started to learn and be able to have conversations with people now, which is great. The next thing that I want to talk about is technology. Technology is huge here in Shanghai. The systems that are here are so effective and so simple. But it is an essential. It is an essential that you need. Things like WeChat, things like Alipay, things like Didi. These are things that will allow you to have a very, very simple life here and that can really, really help you out. About the world of work, you are a teacher. You're going to be working full-time as a teacher. Your role is so important for the parents who send their kids to that school or that kindergarten, to the kids, to the teachers, to the management. You are an essential role. You're going to be asked to do things that you are going to have to take with positivity and with a flair for a challenge. You know, it will allow you to really get your teeth into something as a teacher and really exceed expectations. You have great opportunities here, but it's tough. The other thing is that you might be prone to last minute decisions. It might come to a time where it's 5 minutes before, and because of an event that you didn't know about, boom, your class is cancelled. You have to be ready to be flexible and work alongside your team. And it can be a little bit, oh wow, that's sudden for the first time, but as you go through and as you get used to it, you will ultimately get a lot better. So as a new expat coming over as a teacher in China or in Shanghai, you'll have a lot of questions. There are a lot of cultural differences that might seem a little bit daunting. One of the really positive things is obviously being able to have the Shanghai Meiji team and Lilian. Lilian's my really good friend. She graduated from Nottingham University, so she has a really good understanding of what it's like as a British person to come over and kind of see some of the differences in culture. You are very well supported and they will answer a lot of your questions. Some of my personal experiences, some revolve around the world of work and some revolve around actually living here. So firstly, there's language. Of course, language is going to be a barrier. If you're in a major city, then you're not going to encounter this problem so much, but when you're in somewhere quite rural in China, it might be a more common problem. Of course, there are ways to connect up with Mandarin teachers. There's ways before you come across to prepare and get yourself a little Chinese phrase book and learn a bit of Chinese beforehand. I got linked up, thanks to Lilian as well, with a Chinese teacher here in Shanghai, and I've started learning Chinese so that one, I know a new language, and two, I can actually have a conversation with people, you know. The second thing is about technology. Technology is fundamental here in Shanghai. It makes everything so much more efficient. Technology is a big friend here. Things like Alipay, WeChat, transport cards, you know, all of these things make life here so much easier. But because of that, they're kind of essential. They're kind of essential. So you need to make sure that you do your research, and as well, you'll find out about all of this when you're across here, and they'll help you set it up on your iPhone or your Android. The next one is about working here. You're a teacher. You are so important to the school where you get placed. You're important to the parents, you're important to the staff, the management team, and you're also important to the kids. You are a fundamental part of their development in learning a new language sometimes. You know, they may not have experience of this before. Because of this, it's a full-time job. You know, you have to come up with new, exciting ways to teach. You have to come up with new ways to entertain the kids and, you know, work with your fellow teachers, you know. But because of that, it's a wonderful, wonderful experience. It's a career like no other. You get to have a great time helping kids develop, working with a really good staff, working in a professional environment, and being able to work in this amazing city. That's a huge payoff. And the other thing is that Shanghai has a lot of last-minute decisions. a lot of quick changes. You might have, say, it's 5 minutes before a lesson, it's ready to go. Boom, your kids are sick. There's no class. It sometimes happens, and it happens more regularly than you might think because they're kids, you know. So there might be events that you don't know. There might be the fact that they're sick. It might be the fact that there's a parent-teacher event on, and so the timetable's different. But you have to be flexible with your placement and be able to work as part of a team in order to be able to succeed. If you can overcome this with the support of Shanghai Meiji, with the support of people like Lilian, with a really good attitude to work, you can really succeed here. You can really succeed.
Thanks for your amazing sharing. I think it's very helpful for the foreigner who never been in China before. If you have any question about the visa, about the teaching, about the school, about the culture in China, please get back to me. I'm ready here. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you.